Hello Stampers, this is Sandra with Krafty Kreations with Sandra. I am going to record the class for week number 23 once again because the video for the live was very choppy and horrible. So here we go. I first wanted to check and see if you got your celebration catalog. It should have been in your mail about 2 weeks ago. And this is what it looks like. There are a number of things that you can get free with a $50 purchase. This paper is beautiful. We're going to be using it in our next cards kit. There's Darling Donkeys stamp set. And there is a Approaching Perfection. This is really pretty. We're going to be using that in our card today. And then there's another designer paper. It's called So Ombre. Anyway, there's a variety of things. This other paper is really pretty too, this one. This one is called Flower and Field. We're going to use that one in the January card kit too. So you're going to get to use a couple of them. And these papers also come in the paper share if you're interested. All right? So that's your celebration catalog. You should have already gotten that in the mail. And this is the new mini catalog. And the new mini catalog has not arrived because I mailed one to myself and I have not gotten it. But it's loaded with new stamps and new embellishments. There's now the small embossing machine. The mini Stamp and Cut emboss machine is now available. It's only $60. And I wanted to point out a couple of things. You're going to need to go through it, and I'll go through it with you as I show you new stamps that we're going to use. But I really wanted to show you this one because I think a lot of you are going to like it. It's the Ice Cream Corner Suite, and the stamp set is ice cream cones. Happy birthday, thank you. Treat yourself, you're so cool, you melt my heart. Hope it's sweet with sprinkles on top. And then there's a punch. And if you buy them together, you get a 10% discount on the bundle. And I thought that you would like that. And then the paper is pretty awesome too. We're going to use that in our January cards class too. All right? So I wanted to point that out. And then remember I told you for today's class you wanted some flowers. So if you have a stamp cut and emboss machine, you'll want these dies. Look at all these flowers. Oops, can't see them. But if you don't have it, you could still use a stamp set. Look at all those flowers that you could fussy cut. So anytime you need flowers, look, they're very generic flowers. They don't really look like tropical flowers or Christmas flowers. So I wanted to point that out. That's called In Bloom, and it's on page 45. Anyway, let me know when you get this catalog, please, in the mail. And if you don't, let me know too so I can give you one. I have some hard copies. But since mine hasn't arrived, I don't think yours has either. So give it a few days. All right? So let's get started. Today we're going to make a tuxedo card. It looks like this. Well, we're not making this one, but this is a sample. It stands on its own. And when it's standing, it looks like this. So this is the card that we made earlier today. It's exactly the same. I just used different paper, and then I used flowers instead of the birds. So I'm going to recreate this for you so you can follow along. We're going to start with a piece of cardstock, and I wish there wasn't so many shadows. We're going to start with a piece of cardstock that is 4 by 10.5, and I've already scored it. So I scored it at 2.5, 5, 7.5, and 10. So there's 4 scored marks, 2.5 inches apart. 2.5, 5, 7.5, and 10. Okay? Then I have another piece of cardstock, and this piece is 1 1/4 by 4 1/4, and it's scored at 1/2 inch on both ends, on either side. Okay, so 1/2 inch here, 1/2 inch here. You score it, then you turn it, then you score it one more time. All right? Then we have 2 pieces of designer series paper, whichever paper you want that's going to coordinate with your flowers or your figurines that you're going to use to decorate. And these pieces are 2 3/8 2 3/8 by 3 7/8. 2 3/8 by 3 7/8. All right, so you need 2 of these. So to get started, let's just fold these 2 and put it aside. And then we're going to take a pencil, and we need a ruler, and we're going to mark in the center fold right here, the second one over, not from the short side, the one that looks like it's in the middle of the page. You're going to mark at 1 inch. All right, you're going to make a mark at 1 inch. Just make a little tick mark right here. That's 1 inch. Okay, then you're going to take your scissors and you're going to cut on the score line up to that mark. Just cut straight up to the little tick mark. Okay, that's it. Now we're going to take our bone folder and the ruler, and we're going to score from this score line to this tick mark. So I'm going to put my ruler on the score mark and then move it over so it can be on the tick mark. And there I'm going to use my bone folder to score it. Okay. Then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to turn it so I can see. I have a hard time seeing here. From the tick mark to the corner, to the other score mark on the other side. So now I'm going to use my bone folder. Oops, don't let it move. That happened to me before because I have it upside down. Don't let it move. Just score it. Your bone folder. If you don't have a bone folder, you can use, oh gosh, what can you use? A stylus, if you have a stylus. A pen that doesn't work. You don't want a pen that works. All right, so then before we do that, we're going to take our 2 pieces of designer paper. Oops, I didn't trim those very well. That's because I didn't trim these. These were the leftovers from my previous project. Ha ha ha, got caught. So let me trim those to 3 7/8. And they're the correct width because they were my leftovers. Okay, so we're going to take these 2 pieces, center them on the panels here. Then I'm going to make a little tick mark where the 1 inch mark is on both papers. Okay, so I'm going to make a little tick mark right here. Then you see I have a little mark right here and I have a little mark right here. So now I'm going to take my paper trimmer one more time and I'm going to cut from this tick mark to the corner. So I'm going to place on my trimmer the corner on the cutting line and the little tick mark, the little 1 inch mark. Okay, there it is, the corner and the little tick mark. Then I'm going to put my blade in the middle and I'm going to cut up and down, or down and up. All right, so then I have those 2 pieces. This piece is going to go on the left side and this piece is going to go on the right side. So I'm just separating them. I'm going to do the same thing to this other piece. The tick mark and the corner on the cutting line. This is the cutting line right here. Put my blade in the middle, cut up and down. Now this piece goes to the left and this piece goes to the right. Okay, so then I have my 2 pieces here and my 2 pieces here. Now I'm just going to slide them over so they don't get confused, or I don't get confused. Then I'm going to use my bone folder to make all of these folds, to burnish all of these folds. So I'm going to fold these 2 little flaps, and if you think about if it's a tuxedo fold, this is kind of like the collar. right? It's supposed to look like a tuxedo. So I'm just going to fold and burnish all 4 of my score marks. Remember, we scored at 2.5, 5, 7.5, and 10. And the paper was 10.5. And it's only 4 inches wide. So I'm just I'm just folding and burnishing all the folds. Okay. So this is what my card is gonna look like. Right there, like that. All right, but first we're gonna decorate. We're gonna take our 2 pieces of designer paper and I'm gonna shave off all these little fuzzies. See, I did order blades, but they haven't arrived. Although sometimes I think it's not even my blade. Sometimes the paper is just extra fuzzy. I find that with white paper. The Whisper white paper always leaves a lot of fuzz. Okay, so I'm going to glue that in place. Remember, don't put too much glue and don't go too close to the edge. And I'm going to leave an even border all the way around. It's a tiny border, so don't think you're going to have a big border. And I'm going to do the other side exactly the same way. Not a lot of glue, not too close to the edge. And I forgot to remove the fuzzies. All right? So I'm going to put that with an even border all the way around. So there we have those 2. Now I'm going to take a dimensional for each side and I'm going to put it right here so that when I put down my flaps, they will still be raised a little bit. That way you could see them. You see? I'll put a dimensional under there. Now we're going to take these 2 pieces and we're going to adhere them. They go this way, but they're too big. They're too big. If you put them on, they're going to cover the whole space. So what you want to do is you want to trim a little bit off of the diagonal piece. So I'm going to trim, it's about a 1/16 of an inch. It's a sliver. It's a little piece. I'll show you what it looks like. Look at that. It's like a 1/16 of an inch. It's not very much at all. So I cut that off of that one. And now I'm going to glue it in place. So now you will see there's a border where before there wasn't. It looks like a shirt, huh? Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing with this piece. On the diagonal side, I'm going to cut a sliver. And if you know what a 1/16 of an inch is, it's about a 1/16 of an inch. If you can't tell, then just a little skinny sliver, okay? Then I'm going to glue this on the other side. This is a really pretty pattern or style. You can use with anything. You could use with balloons. Oh, I never thought to use balloons. That would have been easier on me instead of fussy cutting all these flowers. Okay, so there is our tuxedo taking shape. Now I'm going to take some tear and tape and I'm going to put it along the edge here, close to the fold. Then I'm going to take my piercing tool, which if you have take your pick tool, it's the same thing. Then I'm going to fold it in half. I have the adhesive on this side, and I'm just pushing the glue into itself. Then I'm going to fold it in half, and it'll adhere right where it needs to be. So there's the beginning of our tuxedo card. Okay? Now, excuse me, you're going to take this piece and go ahead and burnish those folds so they can lay down a little flatter. So I'm going to explain what I'm going to do before I do it. I'm going to take this piece, I'm going to put glue on both sides, just on the flaps. Then I'm going to adhere it right underneath this edge. I don't want to see it, but I don't want it too low. So just right underneath the edge, making sure that it's kind of centered. So look, there, it's kind of centered there. So when I glue it, it'll just be lower. It is a bit of a, hope you get it in the right place. There is no way to do it perfect. So if you plan from up here, before you stick it on, then you just close it. It'll adhere where it's supposed to. Okay? Then you're gonna have that little curve in there. You see that? Let's see. You see that little curve? You can't see it. There it is. See that little curved paper? That is the piece that we just adhered. It's gonna give us a different level to adhere things. Okay. So now we're going to start decorating. We're gonna start off by putting some greenery along the edges. And I don't have the same greenery that I had in the previous video, so we're just gonna make this work, okay? I'm just gonna use what I have. So I'm going to take a little bit of glue and I'm gonna put it here, and I'm gonna adhere this here in the front. I'm using the inside of the front edge. I'm just gonna glue that there. Then I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. I kind of thought my card from a little while ago was too busy, so we'll see if I can make it less busy. So I'm gonna put that there. Just hold it for a second. Then I had told you, which I didn't review when we started, that you needed a piece of plastic, and this is the plastic that comes with the, where the, I have a mess over there. Where the rhinestones come, you know, this plastic, that's what this is. So save these when you run out of rhinestones. And we're gonna make strips. I'm just gonna make some strips about 1/2 inch, maybe 3/8 of an inch, maybe. I'm just making 4 strips from this little piece. And then I'll show you how to use them in a minute. All right, so I started this way. I don't want it to be too crowded. So then I'm gonna put this one here, I think. I'm not gonna put as many as I did before. I'm gonna put this one here. And then I'm gonna put this one on the other side. If you don't put too much glue, it'll hold on real fast. You won't have to hold it very long. I know it's kind of dark. Well, my light's supposed to be helping, and it seems to create more shadows than it helps. I need a light from up here. That's gonna be my next investment, a round light. Okay, so we're this far. Then I'm gonna take some of these flowers that I fussy cut from the magnolia paper, and I'm gonna put one of these back here. So you don't want it to go past this, because when you mail your card, it's gonna fit in an envelope, but you don't want the envelope to be extra wide. So you want everything that you adhere to not pass this edge right here, all right? So I'm gonna adhere this right here. I'm just building a bouquet of flowers. That's what I'm doing. It doesn't matter if your pieces overlap this back fold. You just don't want to glue anything onto the back fold. All right? So there's that piece. Then I'm going to take, I'm going to take one of these gold foil leaves. I think I'm going to need to cut another. These gold foil leaves are from a packet in the big catalog. And if I can find it, I'll show you where it came from. It's an awesome packet of gold foil laser cut items. Oh look, I think I'm going to put this one here. Oh no, I think I'm going to cut it in half. And I think I'm going to squeeze one in here. And I'm going to squeeze one in here. I know you can't see, but look, that looks really pretty. That's what I'm going to do. There is no set way to do it. You are just decorating and you're just building your bouquet. That's all you're doing. So you're going to build your bouquet with whatever you have and wherever it looks good. So if you don't have any gold, then you just use different greens, or if you're using balloons, or if you're whatever you're using, right? So there. I'm sorry that you can't see as I go along, but I have to stand it up for me to see how it looks. All right, so now I'm going to take, I think I'm going to take this big flower and glue it right here. I think I'm going to glue it right here. I'm just going to put glue on these two little leaves right here. And I'm going to put it kind of high right here. I want this level to, the back section to be as high as it can. All right. Then I'm going to take I'm just doing whatever looks good to me. Let me see. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on this one. And I'm going to tuck it in right behind this one. That looks really pretty, I think. Okay. I think that looks really pretty. And I'm going to do a similar one. Let me see if I have another one. If I want to do one right here, I think I do. Okay, so I'm going to put that one right here. So look at, that's how it's looking. But now we need to put some in the center. We need to adhere some to this little curved piece right here. You can see that little curved piece in there. So that's where we use these. That's where we use these pieces. So I'm going to take a glue dot. I will add more leaves as we get more items in the center there after I do the center. So I think one side glues better than the other. Yes. One side sticks better than the other. I'm just putting a glue dot, a couple of glue dots. Then I'm going to put this on the back of these flowers. Look at that. And then I'm going to put this in the center, right here. So then I'm going to put more glue dots here, a couple more. And I'm putting two just to make it stick better. I think one would be fine. Then I'm going to trim this because it's a little bit too long. I don't need that whole bottom piece. So there, I trimmed it. And now I'm going to stick it on the back side of the curved paper. On the back side of the curved paper. So when I have it where I want it, I just can close my card, make it stick, and there's a different level, you see? That's pretty, huh? And now, I don't have enough flowers. I'm gonna have to cut another one. Let me use a couple of these leaves because these leaves can match. I'm just gonna put, oh, where do I want to put it? Here. And I have another leaf over here. I'm just gonna stick it here. I'm just building a bouquet. There is no right or wrong. Whatever you think looks pretty, that's right. Okay? Look at that, how pretty that is. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take, well, I'm gonna have to cut another flower. Give me a second so I can find a good flower. I'm gonna cut this one along with this little bud right here. So you're gonna get to watch me cut. And I'm not doing the best job, so I'm trying to hurry. But before you start your card, you go ahead and cut or punch as many flowers as you want so that you have plenty. Even if you have leftovers, it's better. So this little bud, I'm gonna place, I think I'm gonna place the two buds, these two buds, on a strip. That's what I think I'm gonna do. Let me give it a try. One side of this paper or this plastic allows the glue dot to stick, and the other one doesn't allow it very well. So here I'm just building a bit of a longer stem so I can put them possibly here. I'm going to make this shorter. And I think, hey, I think I might change my mind and put it in the front. Let me see if that works for me. Maybe I don't need this. Let me see. I'm changing my mind. Remember, I told you, you're just building. Whatever looks good to you, that's what's good. I think I'm going to put the flower here, kind of peeking out so that we have a different level. You see, because if I put it in the back, it would be very close to this one. And then this one, I'm also going to stick, I'm going to put it right here, if I could stick it in because it's already got a glue dot. Okay, it's starting to look a little crowded, so I'm just going to put one more flower. Or maybe I'm just going to put a couple of these right here. That's what I'm going to do. I don't want it to look so crowded. I thought the first one that I made looked a little crowded. Remember what I said, it's whatever looks good to you. And then I think I'm going to do this one. It's just another gold foil. I'm going to put that one. I think I'm going to put that one right here and then squeeze it behind. Let me get that on first. And of course I got glue everywhere. Then I'm going to squeeze it behind this flower. Maybe kind of halfway there, like that. Hey, that looks pretty to me. Look at that. Let me see if I want to use this greenery. This, by the way, is mossy meadow that I hadn't said before. And I think I want to put these leaves right here behind this flower. Just don't do what I told you not to do. Don't let them stick out too much over the edge here. I just thought there was an empty space there, which means that I now have an empty space. I think I'm going to put this little bud on this piece that I had prepared and didn't use before. Where's my, here it is. I think I'm going to put this little bud and then I think I'm going to put these leaves. I have 2 leaves right here. I'm just building a flower. And then I think I'm going to put that right in the center here. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to use a dimensional, a half of a dimensional, so it doesn't stick out from behind the plastic. Look, I'm putting it on the plastic. You see what I'm doing? And then I'm going to peel this off. And then I'm going to put it on the front of the curve, a little lower than the other flower. There. I think that looks really pretty. Okay, so I don't need any more. I don't need any more leaves. I don't need any more pieces and the flowers. Now I'm just going to do my sentiment. And the sentiment I'm using from the new celebration stamp set that you can get for free with a $50 purchase. And I'm going to use this happy birthday. This is really cute. The bad news is I forgot your birthday. The good news is I forgot your age. So what if you're a year older? You're fabulous. That's really pretty. If things really do get better with age, then you're approaching perfection. Haha. Newsflash. Birthdays found to be good for your health. Studies show that people who have more birthdays live the longest. If you have anybody you joke with about age. So this is called approaching perfection. And we're using the happy birthday stamp from that set. All right? I cut out a little scallop rectangle from the Sweetly Stitch So Sweetly dies. If you don't have those, I really recommend them. They have a good variety of dies for sentiments. I'm just going to stamp that right in the center. Give it a second to absorb. It's not as dark as I wanted it, but oh well. Now, I'm going to place it right here. And I'm going to place it there. I did have a black mat, but I think I don't need the black mat. Hey, the black mat looks good. I think I'll use it. All right, so I'm going to adhere this. Didn't need that much glue. I'm going to adhere this here. Then I'm going to take a piece of my plastic and I'm going to put 2 glue dots. Actually, I'm going to put 3 because the little piece is a little bit heavy. I'm going to put this on the back. Right here. And then I'm going to put more. I'm going to put 2 more. Oh, this is where they don't stick. This is the side where they don't want to stick. Come on, let me see where I'm going to put it. I'm going to put it right here. Right there. So they do need to go on that side. Let me use my paper piercer, see if I can get them to stick. They don't want to stick to that side. All right. Let me see how I can do this. I guess I could put glue and then just slide it in and then hold it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to slide it in and I'm going to close it. Ooh, it may need another little strip. It's a little wobbly because it's big. Let me put another strip to help it. It won't show that it has two because you really can't see them. So let's put this one here. And actually I'm hiding these both leaves that I think I'm going to move to the front before I glue this. Remember, this is glued, so this is going to move if I need it to. It just moved. Put it back where it belongs. And then I'm going to put this one in there. And I guess I can't save those. Okay, this is going to go there. Bear with me. I'm also just making it up. So that should stick there. Why is it so wobbly? Okay, let's help it not be wobbly. There, we just helped it. See, the problem is I glued it crooked. I glued this piece too low. Shouldn't be too hard to undo. I want it to be straight. So I'm just straightening it up, putting this back in. And what you can tell from what I'm doing is there is no right or wrong. You just do it. All right, so this is getting a little complicated here. Okay, there. I'm going to stick it that way. And now it's straight. Well, it's straighter. There we go. There we go. So there is, well, if I don't tilt it back, if I just stand it, that's how it looks. Isn't that pretty? All right, so one last step. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to take a piece of Scotch tape and Scotch tape this one that I glued, because I'm not so sure the glue will stick. But maybe if I give it time to dry. We used to sell clear sheets, and I know I have some, I just didn't know where they were. But if you don't have clear sheets, then you would use what I showed you. All right, so now we're just gonna make a little bow, and I'm gonna take this metallic edge ribbon. I'm gonna make a nice little bow. Not too big, nice and tight. So there's my bow. In the world. Try again, try again. If you don't like how it looks, you do it over. And if you still don't like how it looks and you use it, then don't tell anybody you don't like how it looks. They'll never know the difference. Okay, there, that's better looking. Trim my ends. I need new snips. I have actually had these snips for about 10 years, I think. Right, then I'm going to take another glue dot. I'm actually going to take 2 glue dots just to make it stronger. And then I'm going to put this ribbon, this bow, right in the center here. Doesn't that look pretty? This wobbly one. Why is it so wobbly? Because it needs another one on this side, I think. It looks fine. I can make it go behind these and not be so wobbly. There we go. There is our, can you see it? There is our tuxedo card. Oh, and then I wanted to put a couple of rhinestones. Let me see. I don't have many left of these, and some of them aren't even sparkly. But let's take one here. And maybe one on each side here. And then maybe a smaller one up here next to this one. There we go. There it is. Beautiful tuxedo card. I hope you liked it. See you next week. Bye-bye.